welcome to a twitch.tv/RonanPaul live stream here on twitch.tv/RonanPaul. Welcome, everyone. I've got a bit of the jazz hands. I picked it up over the weekend. I shouldn't have slept with that fella. Woman. It was a woman. How y'all doing, the 14th Doctor? Stop it. How y'all doing? I got cold pie and Mage Lord Exilbirth. Why are there no names? Pawn, you only just got back home / woke up, didn't you, as a 14th Doctor? Both of those. The jazz hands, and then she dropped me off, and I was asleep in the back, because, man, Rohypnol will really do a number on you. Anyway, welcome to the live stream, twitch.tv/wherever we are. We're gonna be playing This Is the Police today. It is another day where Ronan Pawn is just up rather recently. It's a recent affair that I'm awake. So my sleep schedule has been all screwed up. I've been waking up at like 3 p.m., 5 p.m., going to sleep after the sun comes up, that sort of thing. So yesterday, what I went and did was, I just stayed up from the day before. See, morning came around, and then I got tired and was ready to go to sleep, and I made myself some coffee, and just kept going, and edited together some videos. You won't ever see them. They were horrible. No, they'll be up on the channel eventually, but I edited together some of our Wednesdays and stays into, you know, concentrated Zen, squeeze it, and it just oozes out of the sponge. So, yeah, that's what I did yesterday, and then, wouldn't you know it, still didn't actually get to sleep, like proper sleep. There was a little passing out moment there. Rohypnol, I'm telling you. But yeah, I didn't actually get to proper sleep until like 2 a.m. anyway, even though I've been up for like 24 hours. But then, okay, 2 a.m., now I'm gonna give myself some proper sleep. About 13 hours of it, apparently. So, yeah. I'm bright-eyed and pushy-tailed and just, you know, wearing off the jazz hand STD and the Rohypnol. As usual. As usual. This sounds exactly like the soundtrack from The Sims 2, as a guy called Pie. It's Happy Bee by Kevin MacLeod. So don't worry, Happy Bee. Oh wait, no. Worry don't, be happy. Yes, it's Yoda's version. Today we will be playing This Is the Police, a strategy game that refuses to actually appear on my desktop here. I'm calling it a strategy game. It is a strategy game where, you know,
usually, before I go shaking my tits for the press,
and
I like to go see how the professionals do it.
There's some tit shaking involved. Usually, before I go shaking my tits for the press. Isn't Zen harmful in concentrated doses, which is why are there no names? It can be. That's why I'm so, you know, I want to go back to my Zen master and get him to ordain me so that if I do accidentally, you know, kill anybody with too much Zen, you know, it'll be his fault as much as mine for having said I'm okay to teach. Right now it's just kind of me, and I got enough murder charges chasing me, and with the Rohypnol and the jazz hand STD, I don't know. It's a lot in my life, you know? Everything in moderation, including moderation. Yes, that's why I don't have any moderators here, basically. That's what this community... Pony had a place to be. Is it a dance party or a club or something? I don't know. And at some point, they got themselves a jazz singer to do the intro to This Is the Police. I don't remember this being a thing, but maybe I was just never paying attention. Continue our sojourn through This Is the Police. We recently met the mystery man by the name of Robespierre. Yes, I was putting extra words in there to try and remember. Robespierre! We recently met him, and now he's leaving little bits of paper on my desk every day that are letting me know that City Hall hates me, the Mafia is barely tolerating me, and I shouldn't be counting my chickens before they hatch. I mean, if that's in cursive, then I'm just assuming that it's just kind of low on the... carrying it over to the T. So don't count your chickens before they hatch. Mayor Rogers is displeased with the police department. No, I noticed. Yeah, City Hall, not a fan. Freeburg mail truck has gone missing. And Mayor Rogers, I will bring order to the police station. Cool. I will take, a chicken sandwich. I could use some cappuccino, like maybe a half calf, with cream and double mocha whip. Is that how you order coffee? Because I don't know, I'm not really a coffee drinker. Freeburg mail truck missing. Now that's interesting, okay? I think we're supposed to be watching these headlines for little tips and things. A mail truck has gone missing. Don't forget that. It's important. Otherwise we're going to be stuck with this STD forever. Take me to work in my brand new sports car. We're going through a bit of a midlife crisis here as the police commissioner for the city of Freeburg. And as far as I can see, it's all working out well for him. I think I forgot to feed my fish back at the house. Can I have the day off? Asked Davenport. Of course you can. I love fish. No! You're on the job. Oh my god. Nobody went home today? I've got my entire force for shift A. This hasn't happened in a while. Since I went into a coma and somebody else took over the police station for me and ran the thing into the ground. It's a bit of a soap opera. You know, if you're just joining us now, it's kind of hard to figure out. Yeah, he was in a coma. You know, his... it really is a soap opera. His mother-in-law appears to have put a hit out on him. And the guy didn't finish the job, which left us in a coma. We came out, we bought a sports car, and I don't know, like a cock ring. I don't know what he's doing in his off time, anyway. But let's get in here and see if we can't, you know, not lose the game, because things were not going very well at the end of the last This Is the Police run. I very much do love this game. Please be you suck. City Hall hates you. Be advised, we are unhappy with the efficiency of the Freeburg PD. We're cutting the department's budget. What that means is I've either just lost an officer or a detective or both. You lose one job slot. Removing an occupied slot will automatically fire an employee. Well, let's fire Yancey, since he's dead. Okay, this is a lot just came in all at once, so let me just get it underfoot. There's an assault at the milk factory. All that highly valuable, that white gold they call it on the streets. Factory worker Vitaly Samsonov quarreled with the head of the plant. Well, there's your problem. You got some kind of ex-KGB agent running the milk factory. And white gold, you can't. Quarreled with the head of the plant and attacked him. Colleagues called the police but are afraid to intervene because Samsonov is as strong as an ox and has all that KGB training. He took us all by surprise. He doesn't say that in case you can't see the screen right now, but if you can't see the screen right now, you're going to be screwed, because I love to just add things that aren't there. Who's going out to this thing? So, it's just a fight at the old milk factory. The old haunted milk factory. Send Austin and a commanding officer in the form of Millsap, along with Quatch. See how that works out for us. And disorderly conduct at the dump. About 24 Amish men chased everyone out of the city dump and blocked all access. The Amish community claims that the land belongs to them, and as evidence, they're presenting a handwritten document. An eyewitness reports that they're not behaving very peaceably, but there are hardly any weapons aside from a few pitchforks. Yeah, I don't know why the Amish would want this area. It's been, you know, it's got all this concrete and technology on it. I'm sure there's a number of, you know, exploded Samsung devices and iPhones without headphones in the dump, so I don't know why they're interested in it, but, you know, seeing as they are, and they are Amish, they should be, I don't know if they're going to be peaceful or not. Have you seen that Amish Mafia show? They can get pretty nasty. I'm just gonna, I can send the paddy wagon. Should I send the paddy wagon? I'm not feeling the paddy wagon here. It's the Amish. I'm not feeling the paddy wagon. It's the Amish. Deal with it. What the hell is going on? Hang on, let me clear some stuff out. Goodbye, Robbins. I don't remember how you died. I know that you were around for a while. And, did you give me that coffee yet? What? I asked for a half-calf double latte with a twist or something. And, holy crap! Okay, so I may be selling some of the evidence that we've been picking up in certain investigations off to the Mafia, you know? I'd love to keep it all for myself, but I'll tell you what, my staff will be so happy if I share this with them. So 50% of it goes to the staff, and then what the hell's going on at the Rubinovich Casino? Ah, yes, we closed a detective case last time. However, we weren't prepared to actually you know, go and pick the guy up, because this fella is a proper gangster, and I did not want to send out police when the lead detective wasn't on, because that doesn't tend to work out for you. I'm just going to send the two best officers I've got on right now, which are Prado and Bailey, along with Detective Mole and the SWAT team. Pick this guy up. He's pretty hard. You know what I mean? Hard. I know City Hall is really pissed off with me right now, but if I can change that in the next day or two, then maybe my request to City Hall will, you know, the timing will be right. I'm going to ask for an officer. Pay raise. Now, what do I need? A pay raise. Yeah, I'm going to ask for those two things.
We've got a situation.
Milk factory? Human lady milk, says hologram one. Shh, it's the white cold industry. We don't talk about it. Hello, ghostly player. I just realized I don't have any snacks. Not hot ones anyway, says a guy called Pie. Well, what are you going to do? Go on a diet. Jasus. Hello, Jasus. Dabbing. Me too. Wait, I can't. Okay, it's patting and then rubbing a circle, right? That's how we... Yeah. That's what the kids are doing these days. I'll be on YouTube because I'm having problems with Twitch, says Ghostly Player. I wait for the day when that isn't, you know, when I don't hear that as often, Twitch. You're together. Germacian cheering 100, you lost a mail truck, he went to find a female truck. Shh. Hello, Ghostly Player, welcome from YouTube chat. Make sure you're still logged into chat on Twitch. Okay, and be over in YouTube chat as well, and then, you know, it looks like there's more people watching. Vitaly Samsonov is holding the plant manager over a vat of milk. No, not the product! The manager is crying and kicking his feet, and then he wets his pants. Not near the product! Jesus Christ, don't pee in the milk, children drink that. Yeah!
412A.
Alright, I made them all laugh, and then we caught him. Good, that's how I like to... Okay, they want backup at the Amish thing. You don't need... It's the Amish! Well, I've got, one of my, shifts is returning back. One of my dispatches is returning back. So, yeah, Smith and Gilbert go out there and give them some backup as well. There will still be officers on hand. Bailey and Prado are just arriving where they are, but it's Quatch and Austin and Millsap are on their way back. How do we deal with the massacre? Did we get the guy? And nobody got shot? Hooray! We closed the case! And Mole gets an extra 100 and everybody else gets some. Look at all the detectives I had on that case because there was nothing else going on. Beautiful! Beautiful! Now here's the thing, kids. We're going after Vikas Varga here. And if you're just joining us, Vikas Varga is the head of the mafia that we supported in the Mafia Wars. So, this is dangerous, is what I'm saying. The fact that I'm going after Varga, and that I'm, like, selling jewels to him under the table, and that kind of thing, it's, I'm playing both sides of the aisle, you know? Some nights I go home with a lady, some nights with a man, you know what I'm saying? We all do that, right? So, if I continue this investigation, it's gonna get more and more dangerous for me. At any point, I can just decide that the guy that I've picked up is worth arresting, and then I can, you know, take a bonus and walk away. But $5,000 isn't worth it to me. We've picked up this guy led to this guy. Then we picked up this guy leads to this guy. Let's open an investigation on David Vasquez. All of my detectives are free now, because we just closed the case. Yeah. Start the investigation. Who's gonna be my lead? Yet. Why are you guys not... What's your problem? You know what? We'll start that in a minute after my detectives get back from wherever the hell they are. We've got a reckless endangerment call at the Freeburg Zoo. We've received numerous calls from visitors at the local zoo, who saw a drunken zoo employee open the cheetah cage. The dangerous cats are running amok, and have started to attack people. We need to call the ASPCA or something. We're the police! We don't deal with loose cheetahs. Sorry, not my thing. Okay, this is the guy that we want to investigate? Right? This isn't a new case that is... Yeah, this is the guy we want to investigate. Are you guys back yet? Mole! Put the friggin' gas on, honey. Get home. Disorderly conduct. How do we handle the Amish? All 5 of us on scene. We handled it well. And everyone comes up a little bit. Alright. Do we really have to go to the cheetahs? We're not so much built for cheetah matters. Alright, let's go to the cheetahs. What do I do here? This just seems like not our department. Really not our department, you know? The city's got, like, another department for this. There's gonna be dead civilians if I don't go to this, I'm sure. Oh, God. Prado. Millsap. They won't let me send the SWAT. I mean, I guess they're just cheetahs. We've got shotguns in the back. Quatch, you're my lowest ranking dude. If you die, you know, that'll be sad for your family. Yeah, I'm just gonna send the 3 of you. I'm sure that's not gonna work out well, but I just can't be bothered. Because I've also got a noise complaint. And, are we ready yet? Mole's in. I could put Mole on the case as the lead. I think I want to put Davenport on the case as the lead, actually. Because he's, you know, he's a good character. 420 isn't that bad. But, you know, he'll get the big points if he closes it. So, you, but Mole as well, and Har to support. And I need to get even more detectives on that case immediately. Meanwhile, the noise complaint at the cemetery. The caretaker at the cemetery reports that zombies have been coming out and eating people, and it's really disturbing his nap time. I'm afraid it's the dead finally come back. Oh my god, it actually says something like that. The cemetery reported strange sounds coming from the crypt. I'm afraid it's the dead finally come back. These are dark days. Yes, they are. Trump administration and all. Okay, I'll tell you what, since you're actually, I've got, like, a full staff here. Taylor! Chief, what are you crazy? I'm not going out there alone. Oh, right. Because people will kill you. Alright, we'll just not go is what we'll do. We'll not go to the dead coming back to life. How do we do with the old reckless endangerment and the cheetahs? Nobody was hurt and we stopped the rampaging cheetahs? I did not expect that as a result. But I'll take it. Armed robbery at the LifeWire store. LifeWire? What the hell is that? The Chinese space station is going to crash back to Earth in April, says Snow Wolfie. Oh, cool. Can I ride her down? Seems like it would be fun. Right? Ghostly player, you can't watch on both platforms at once? Because you're on a tablet? Damn it! How you gonna, you know, artificially inflate my view count then? I'm not fat, you know, just hungry, says a guy called Pie. I didn't say you're fat, I was just saying go on a diet, you know? You should be emaciated. I don't know what I'm saying. It seems to be in my PC, not on my audio output, says a guy. What? What does? Crackling sound I can't get rid of. On the PC, not the audio? I hear the crackling sound as well, says Snow Wolfie. Really? Interesting. Snap, crackle, pot! So it's Ronan's fault. Oh, here, I'll fix it. How's that? It's probably going to be the same. You know, things are horrible. Your chat is a minute and a half behind, says a guy called Pie. Your chat is a minute and a half behind. Cheer 5 Plum, we're having some noise complaints about your stream here. Well, maybe it's the dead rising, a guy called Pie. We've had that at the cemetery recently. Have you refreshed stream, Pie? Yes, the crackling sound starts when you talk, Ronan Pawn. That's just... I told you I haven't been sleeping very well lately. You know, it's in my throat. Still crackles, yo. Alright, well, the only thing I can do is mute it for the rest of the stream, so I guess that's what we'll... was that better? Should we do it that way instead? Because what am I gonna do? Well, what can I do? Much better, says Bear Suit Lane. Wait, okay, maybe I can do this. This is gonna hurt your ears. Ready? Jiggle, jiggle. I did that. Popped it there. slammed that a couple of times. How's she now? Probably some audio set up with the mic. Probably in the wires. There, I moved the wires around. Did it get any better? A man wearing a ski mask entered the LifeWire Consumer Electronics Store. He pulled out a gun and demanded all the money and the most expensive toaster. Give me the toaster! Give me the toaster! The store's security guard was fast on his feet and managed to knock the gun out of the robber's hands, but then he grabbed a sales assistant by the throat, and he's threatening to strangle her unless his demands are met. I'm gonna say, give him the toaster. We got better things to do, you know? We're the police over here. We're not appliance salesmen. I don't know what you want out of me. Taylor, you go over there with Smith and Underwood. In fact, Underwood, you stay home because you're looking tired. Oh, you're all looking tired. Alright, Underwood, get out there. Handle it. That wasn't much better, Paul. Still hear it, says Ghostly Player. Well, what do you want me to do? Ah! We want to go to the noise complaint, right? Not really. Not really. There are two crackles. One loud when you talk and one quiet when you don't talk. How do we do with the noise complaint? The offender escaped. There are now zombies free in Freeburg. What have I done? What have I done? Hey, our investigation has started on the dude. Don't we have to interrogate him or something? No? We don't? Okay. Okay, what could I do about your crackling issue? I jiggled the cables. Jiggle this one some more. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. I could close down and reopen Reaper. That's probably not going to help, but, you know, we can do that anyway. Can't we? Hang on. Hold with me, everybody. Save project, and no, don't save. Hover open. Alright, Reaper's back online. If it's a software side issue, then the fact that Reaper's been closed and reopened would have helped it. Probably not a software side issue. It's probably in the lines. Or the whole computer needs a restart, and it is a software side issue. It's just, it's what life is when you live stream. You know, there's always something. Nothing just works. Even though absolutely nothing has changed or been moved or even touched since the last live stream. Of course, why wouldn't there be a crackle in the line? Now it works fine, says Snow Wolfie. Yeah, sure. It's good now, says Bearsuit Lane. I don't believe you. Alright, so we're investigating what's-his-face. David Vasquez converted an orphanage into a drug distribution center using underage kids to do his dirty business. Like his laundry? I mean, if they're making good money for the hours, I can look the other way. That helps, says Ghostly Player. You're wrong! Vehicles, drugs are brought into the orphanage to weekend caravan. Clown needs some beer. A made-up clown sits behind the wheel. What? They're bringing drugs into the orphanage in a bright-colored van with a clown driving. Lovely. The gates of the orphanage fence are normally closed. They open right before the van arrives. The clown and some other workers carry in boxes of clothes, food, toys, and books. And drugs. Lots and lots of drugs. Teenage boys are forced to package drugs under a clown's supervision. Well, they are pretty damn scary. I'm sure he doesn't even need a gun or anything, you know? Just a clown staring at you over the shoulder. Pack the drugs! I'm sorry! Please don't hurt us, bozo! Packaged drugs ready for street sales are stored in backpacks in the basement. Well, let's take this bastard down. We need 5 frames between the gates opening and the gates closing in order to catch this prick. So, we should probably just hire a private investigator instead of trying to take these pictures ourselves. We're the cops. We got other things to deal with. For example, a firefight at Rubinovich Casino. A gang stormed the casino and went straight for the utility room. The eyewitnesses who called the police said it's a bad day for reading. Let's go back to where the audio had like crackles in it. That was fun. That was my favorite part. Good evening, Paul and chat. Hello, Dendy. What the hell? That actually did it? Yeah, apparently it was the software. It was Reaper. This is my life, people. Does that make any sense whatsoever? There's a little bit of crackle in the background of your audio. Okay, let me restart my digital audio workstation and see if that, like, now you know why IT always says, have you tried turning it off and on again? Happy little packages, says Bearsooth. Happy little packages full of drugs. At the casino, a gang stormed in, went to the utility room. The eyewitness who called the police said he heard gunshots, and then the gang members started carrying out some boxes. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. And there was, like a missing male thing, so I don't know. It's an assault on a casino. If I send the SWAT, though, I've already sent the SWAT out once today to help with picking a dude up. But it is, you know, clearly like a planned assault of a casino. I think I gotta send the SWAT. I don't know that I need the paddy wagon on this thing. Prado, take out Pretty Boy Smith and Bailey's Irish Cream and Millsap. And that's enough. You know, the 4 of you and no paddy wagon should be able to deal with that. Here, have a paddy wagon, too.
Looks like we have a situation here.
That happened quick. Okay, no, this is the other robbery happening at the LifeWire store. This man wants a toaster, and he wants it bad, and he's willing to crush her trachea. He doesn't look like he's got the strength to crush her trachea. Just knee him in the balls! Ma'am, we've got other things. There are casinos being robbed. A man in a ski mask is in the middle of the store, holding a girl by her throat and yelling at the employees. Shall we try to sneak up behind him? Shall we say, calm down, let go of the girl, and just leave, we'll give you the toaster? Or should we pull a gun on him and make it clear that he'd better give up? Yeah, just tell him that, you know, if he lets go of her, then he can just walk out. And then when he goes to walk out, grab him. The man releases the girl and starts to run, then enters a room with a bunch of refrigerators and disappears. Come out or else, or expand the search to the entire store, or check all the refrigerators. Yeah. As far as we knew, he didn't have a weapon on him, so just start popping refrigerators open. You know, if we hadn't, he would have suffocated to death inside one of them. If they were the old ones. There was an episode of Punky Brewster when I was a child that kind of scarred me for life. Episode of Punky Brewster where in order to make kids, and if there were parents were sitting in the room watching Punky Brewster, the girl with the rainbow socks. In order to make children aware of the danger that old refrigerators pose, they did an episode, I believe it was a 2-parter episode, where your favorite child TV star of the silly, light-hearted Punky Brewster series trapped herself in a refrigerator from the 50s. Ones that latch shut. And she was inside it. And then, on the half-hour mark, it was just, you know, left there. She's just inside the refrigerator, and her parents are looking for her. And tune in next week to see whether Punky Brewster lives or suffocates to death, here on NBC. I don't know what channel Punky Brewster actually went out on, but pretty fucked up, don't you think? I mean, alright, there's a danger there, but you're going to do a 2-parter episode where Punky Brewster, children, you know, watching this show, and, Punky, I love Punky Brewster. She's trapped in a fucking fridge, she's gonna die! That's where they left it for the kids, you know? I mean, it's not an episode of Batman, is what I'm saying. You know, will the Joker kill Punky Brewster by locking her in a fridge? That's not what we're dealing with here. Kind of, I get what you were trying to do, scarred me for life, you know? I can only have sex with women in rainbow socks now. It's really, it had nothing to do with that episode that I was scarred for life. It was completely a different cause, but so there was some things messed up. Does anyone in chat have ever heard of Punky Brewster? I would like to ask. How the hell can a device that's barely ever used just randomly breaks, as a guy called by? Talking about my phallus? Okay, not everything is a dick joke, Pawn. Let me show you the way to the power outlet. I'm sorry? Pawn, I tried turning my stereo off and on again today, but it's still broken, says a guy called by. How the hell can a device break that's barely ever used? I see. Stereo off and on again today, but it's still broken. Stereos very often have a single fuse in the back that can blow. That's where I'd pull, and they usually have like a cardboard back. If it's like a proper, you know, entertainment stereo, well, that's the 80s, they had little card. Anyway, there's very often a fuse on the power board that you could just check, and that might be the simplest thing. If you do not know the way, I'll have to escalate you to Chinese tech support. What? Nope, Paul, no ideas. Look up Punky Brewster and the Trapped in a Refrigerator episode, because just a bad... Hey, look! You did escalate me to Chinese tech support. Bearsuit Lane, there's been a vehicular accident in Chinatown. The owner of a grocery store saw a car drive onto the sidewalk and knock over a girl who was playing with her roller skates. Her name? Punky Brewster. Then the bastard stopped, waited a second, then backed up over the child again, then took the corpse and locked it in a 1950s refrigerator where it was never found. I've heard that's how the Chinese do it back home, but are we really going to let them get away with it here? No, sir. Absolutely not. Why would you say that that's the way the Chinese do it back home? Like, what did the girl do? The owner of a grocery store drives on, and then he stops, and then he backs over the kid again. What have you been hearing about the Chinese, man? And also, why are my lights so flickery these days? Cheer 5. Here we go. Of Punky's several run-ins with mortality, it was a second season episode that aired on January 19th, 1986, that stands as her most memorable, titled, Cherry Lifesaver? Or Cherry Lifesaver? It involved a small child nearly suffocating to death in an abandoned refrigerator. I may have misremembered the entire episode, but my version's the funniest. So, was Punky not the one in the refrigerator, and it wasn't a two-part episode? And my version is way funnier. I was scarred for life. They all have to wear rainbow socks. Smith and Quatch, and what am I going to here? He backed over a girl in Chinatown. Underwood. Stay home. Austin. Go out and handle this, and everybody else will wait for something more interesting to come in. Firefight? Oh, right, the Rubinovich Casino. We kicked their asses because the SWAT and the paddy wagon were there. So we stopped the casino assault, and we got automatic weapons. Now I can sell these to the Mafia for profit, but I have chosen to not put automatic weapons back out onto the streets of my city. So bring them back to the police station. If it's drugs or jewelry or cash laundering, that's another matter. But guns, that's just gonna, you know, it's gonna be a problem for my officers in the long run. Oh good, why don't two things come in at once then? What have we got? We got some prostitution at Kevin's Throat Bar. What's new? That's why else would you go to a bar named Kevin's Throat? I'm saying. It's gay prostitution. Frank Zucker reports that a young blonde in a short red dress approached him at the bar. Okay, so, trans. And offered to go to bed with him for cash. I've never laid down with a whore. Can you believe this bitch? Yes? Yes, there's more important things in the city, sir. Imprisonment at Debbie's Special Cafe. Is that a crime? Is imprisonment a crime? Like, being held hostage, or... Are you telling me that I'm going to read this paragraph now, and we're going to find out that someone was, you know, captured and then made to wear rainbow socks and live out of a 1950s refrigerator in Debbie's Special Cafe? A man with a strong Spanish accent said that a dozen people are being held against their will in the basement of a cafe. The hostess of the cafe seeks out needy immigrants, gains their trust, and promises mountains of gold, then imprisons them and makes them work around the clock for stale food. According to the man who called, he was one of the slaves, but he managed to escape. The woman also has 5 armed guards who regularly beat up the least productive workers. At Debbie's Special Cafe? Really? I'm... Mr. Boyd, have you prepared the corpses I asked for? No! Piss off! A man came by and said, I want corpses. It's not gonna happen. We handled the they backed over the girl in Chinatown thing just fine. I don't know... Let's get everyone back and then we'll decide what to do about prostitution and Kevin's throat. Alright, let's go to the prostitution call. It's no big deal. Send Tyler and Quatch. It's fine, I guess. Yeah. But this one... Oh, good, there's another call immediately after this one. Let's find out what it is before I choose to send people out there. Police impersonation at Lucifer in the Sky with Lizards nightclub. Lizzle? 4 police officers entered the nightclub and started arresting people for having fun. They bullied the girls, and when the guys got angry, they beat them up and humiliated them. One of them put a gun into a patron's mouth and shouted at the others. Another cop knocked out a man's front teeth with the butt of his gun. The club manager has serious doubts that these are even real police officers and suspects that one of his competitors might have sent them over to cause trouble. Yeah, this is very important, we're imprisoning foreign migrants in the bottom of a cafe in order to make... Like, what a ridiculous scenario, is what I have to say. Prado, take, the Irish Cream, Linda Underwood, Millhouse's sister, and the Paddy Wagon, and Gilbert as well. Gilbert as well. All 5 of you and 1 of the... But we've got police impersonation at the other place. Yeah, we're gonna split our team. We're gonna split our team 4 and 4. Drug possession report. Oh, I've got new frames. I've got new frames from Detective Davenport on this investigation. I'm a little bit busy. Hang on, I'll be right back. The officer impersonation call, I'm sending out the rest of my force. So when do we implant the Thought Police, says Bearsuit Lane? It would be helpful at this point. Before or after the Thought Police, T-H-O-T. Prado gone dies. Who's Prado? The guy who's like the head of... No! He's 1500. He's the most dependable. He's basically Neo from the Matrix. How could he die? You guys get out there. What's this? Detective Luckett got 3 new frames. Both on the same investigation. Hang on here. Hang on. Investigations. Oh no, we've got 2 cases open. I was not entirely aware. Do I have anyone else that I can assign to this case? Yes. Clortho... and Beasley, Clortho, when he's not, you know, busting ghosts. No, Clortho, the Clorthometer. He was a bad guy, right? Okay, so, yeah. Now let's look at the actual cases. Show me the details. So, oh, this one's nearly closed. Dante Gambino is an old and reliable employee at the Atala Funeral Home. His job is to import and distribute drugs. Right, so we found, I believe we had to interrogate somebody to find this out, but we found a drug running operation that's happening out of a funeral home, and then the next case we get is drug runners out of an orphanage. So they're getting rather creative in the city. Let's see. So we've got a picture of at night, we have a van pull up. All we have to do is match the pictures to the story. So a van pulls up, a guy brings some boxes in, dude directs him to somewhere, and then in the office, and then something, I forget. What's this? So there's a picture of dude with vases. Said he's getting them out of a safe, is what it looks like to me. I'm going to need to reread this. Cocaine stored in a metal urn, normally used for ashes. Well, then this is probably the one. Okay. Truck filled with urns comes twice a month. The driver moves the boxes filled with product inside the funeral home. So this is a wrong picture because it shows, you know, the dude we're investigating carrying it, and what we've got is a picture of them investigating it, or them doing the thing. Oh, hello. 2 different trucks now. Tell me about the truck. Vehicle. A truck filled with urns comes twice a month. I mean, that's a truck. More of a van. Let's try just flipping these. Okay. Stored in a fireproof cabinet in the office of Federica Laterza, the owner of the whole operation. Dante Gambino keeps a key to her office, which he wears on a big chain with a lot of other keys. Okay, so... Aha! The urn... So, truck would park up, dude brings it inside, he unlocks the office, then they store it in the urn, and then they shuts the office. Maybe it's this truck. How was I to know? I saw nothing in the text to tell me which truck it was. Dante Gambino, an old Italian who has worked his whole life in the funeral business, is who we need to, pick up now. Get him off the streets, which we will do tomorrow because the lead detective is not on call tonight. Drug possession. So these are the two different places we might find that guy, but we'll investigate tomorrow. The prostitution call was, a false alarm. The blonde is Frank Zucker's ex-girlfriend. She'd come to the bar with her friends, and Frank saw her and decided to teach her a lesson. So, now we arrest Frank for wasting our time. Right? Right?
Officer on scene. Looks like we
I
have a
would.
situation
I absolutely
here.
would. Chlorthos is a guy called Pi? Yes, Chlorthos. I've heard of dealing out of a McDonald's, but out of a funeral home and an orphanage, says Bearsuit Lane? Really? Dealing out of a McDonald's? That seems like really... That's a really good idea, you know? Like, nobody would... What's the difference between shady-looking people coming through and ordering drugs in the form of food that are just horrible and addictive and gonna kill you, or actually ordering drugs? How would the police ever know? How did they ever find that out? Somebody really screwed up. The police... I wouldn't hire that drug dealer to move my product. The police found a secret tunnel into the basement and descend into a very dark and smelly room. A man notices the police, shouts something, and quickly disappears inside. Okay, do we chase him? Do we climb up and find the cafe owner? Do we turn on the flashlight and inspect the room? Yeah, that. The police are taking enemy fire! Okay, so now they know we're here, and they open fire. We're the police. We're not... This isn't, we're not a SEAL team. We're not gonna... no night vision goggles, nobody's like duct taping a 2-liter to the front of their pistol to make it into a silencer. We're the police. We come in, we turn our flashlights on and go, "Hey, what are you guys doing here?" And then, okay, so we're taking fire. Do we return fire? Do we duck into the next room and pray the bullets miss? Or do we pull out the pepper spray and attack? Return fire! Are you kidding me? They shoot at us, we shoot back. They die, we arrest them. None of us are hurt, and all of them are arrested. I am the Rodent Pawn. We got one more open case right now, and it's the one of the impersonators, and they want backup. And I can either tell them to retreat because there's not enough of us on hand, or I can just refuse them and say, deal with it. Cheer. We're police officers. We're not trained to handle this kind of violence, says a guy called by. That was, it's Demolition Man. It's Rob... Schneider. Was it Rob Schneider? He had a few lines in that movie. That was one of Rob Schneider's lines, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I think it was Rob Schneider. The situation is more serious than we thought. Requesting reinforcements. 4 of you can take down fake police officers, damn it. And they did. Have more confidence in yourselves, for Christ's sake. Yeah, I actually, I remember watching Ellen DeGeneres, Rob Schneider, and Haywood Banks, although nobody knows who Haywood Banks is, but watching these people on A&E's Evening at the Improv before they were known. Especially before they were nationally known or worldwide known, as they both are now. Just as, stand-up comics doing the circuit. A&E's Evening at the Improv, back when A&E stood for Arts and Entertainment, as opposed to A&E, which now means anything for money. Just any show. Artistic value not required. Yeah. I recall that. Day 66. You know what just occurred to me? That guy who died, who I didn't, put the paperwork into, and then I fired him because the mayor wanted me to fire somebody.
I am Agent Avrahami.
Is it going to show that he was fired before he was killed on duty?
What now?
Please get dressed, Mr. Boyd. We'll wait for you in the car.
Yeah, what? I was talking about Punky Brewster's
Mr.
socks.
Boyd, did you hear what I said?
You know what? You boys can go to hell. I'm not going anywhere. Not right now, at least. You can come down to the police station during regular hours.
Is this the FBI?
You can't just come to my house while I'm sleeping, pull me out of bed without any breakfast. Right now, the only place I'm going is back to bed. I'm closing the door now, and if you...
Jack, what's all this? I told everyone what a great sport you are and how fun it would be to play a little joke on you. Where's your sense of humor gone?
Ethan, it's 5 in the morning. At this hour, the only thing that'll get me laughing is one of you feds slipping on a banana peel.
Well, what'd I tell you? He's such a joker.
You're getting old, Ethan.
You're getting fatter, Jack.
And you're getting boring.
And you're getting fired.
Fine. You win.
But you're still a snappy dresser, Jack. As I'm sure you can guess, we've got an assignment here in Freeburg. Come on, let's go. We'll fill you in at the scene. Oh, and I really am glad to see you, Jack. You have no idea.
Okay, the feds are in town, and they're screwing with me at 5 a.m.
And this is Agent Suresh, Agent Kumaro, Agent Ellis, and Agent Dixon.
Okay,
Jeez, how many men did you bring?
I'm not going to remember any of your
11
names.
people on my team, plus 2 heads, but they're still asleep at the hotel. We got to Freeburg a couple hours ago.
What do we find up here? Is it a McDonald's where they're selling drugs?
I was asked not to communicate with the local police, at least until the press conference, but, well, you're a friend. And by the way, you're lucky you didn't have time for breakfast.
It is a McDonald's. All right, free fries for... Where are the fries?
Now, the press are calling him the Dentist. Just like every other fucking maniac, he's got his own stupid nickname. We spent 19 years chasing this guy. The M.O. is always the same. He kills young women in a small town, drops out of sight, and then reappears on the other end of the country with a fresh set of victims. He kills without hesitation, stuns the victim, then strangles her while she's unconscious. And that's when things get fun. He uses a power tool to ream out the dead girl's mouth. For 5 years, we've heard nothing. That's the longest break he's ever taken. Then 6 hours ago, we got a crazy anonymous tip that the dentist was in Freeburg, and he'd already committed his first murder. They even told us the address of the house. Looks like our anonymous tip came from the dentist himself, but that hasn't been verified yet.
Did you ask him his name?
Dixon, don't go anywhere.
First thing you should do with an anonymous
So, Jack, listen.
Murderer.
Dixon will take you to the station. You can bring your people up to speed. I'm looking forward to full cooperation, and it would be great if you could bag a criminal like this before you retire. A nice farewell. You know what I'm saying, Jack?
Yeah, a nice farewell.
And Dixon, Mr. Boyd will tell you where to take him. Come on, look alive. You're the police chief's driver today, if that's good enough for you. I'll come around to see you tonight. Buy us some beers, huh? But not that piss you normally drink. That stuff gives me wicked heartburn.
Sounds like he's coming on to me. I mean, in that tone of voice, I'm getting real quiet like that. I'll come around later tonight. We'll get some beer. I'm gonna have Palmer, take care of you today. Purdy didn't come into work today. Aw, ain't that a Purdy shame. My son was in a car accident. The doctors are fighting for his life right now. I just can't manage to work today. Can I have the day off? Asks Johnson. Is this... How many times has your son been in a car accident, Johnson? Because this story sounds incredibly familiar. Can you have the day off? Can you have the day off? I don't know. Can you? May you have the day off? Yes, you may have the day off. My mother was just hit by a car. What the hell? You guys really need to coordinate your bullshit stories if you're gonna, sail them by me all in one day. She's been rushed to the hospital and fighting for her life. I should be with her. Can I miss the shift? No! Your mother is old and she's gonna die anyway. Some friends of mine asked me to help out at their animal shelter. They're badly short-staffed. Can I have the day off? How about f***ing no? I don't care about your animal shelter. We have actual human beings who will be shot at likely today, and I would like to have your living body between them and the bullets. Johnson? See, you gotta get at the front of the line. If you're gonna try and sell me a line of bullshit to not come in for the day, you gotta get in front. Because then, if you're the guy behind and you say, ooh, he said yes to that story, and you repeat it, you're not gonna get out. Johnson got lucky. Johnson got... Shall we start the day? Shall we start the day, or shall we have our live stream break before we kick this thing off? I'm thinking we have our live stream break before we go any further in This Is the Police, because if we start it, the day's going to take a half an hour at least. And then we're not going to have time for our live stream break, so the FBI roll into town, you know, old friend, wants some help with a case they've been chasing for, what did he say, 19 years? Something like that. So they're not very good at their jobs. They're chasing a killer who, you know, kills some people, pops up on the other side of the country. So basically, if I just, you know, stack up enough, mutilated corpses, then this guy, this murderer, will head off to another side of the country. So either way that this works out, it's a win for me, is how I'm looking at it. Rive stream break, says a guy called, yes, Rive stream. I hate whoever wrote Castle, says Hologram One. You were so excited! You were so excited, Hologram One, for Castle. You were like, oh, I hope you don't mind if I miss part of your live stream while I watch Castle. It's back on. And then already they've disappointed you. Oh, Hologram One, I'm sorry. 19 years? That's called job security, says Bearsuit Lane. Yeah, I'll bet it's my friend. You know, who's gonna have beers with me tonight and then try and drill my mouth out with a power tool or something. Not supposed to emotion at TV shows, says Hologram One. Oh, so the reason why you hate it is that it was so good it actually touched you. It's not that they've disappointed you, but that it got under your stony skin. It's just, I'm not saying you need to moisturize. Okay. We'll be back after 7 minutes with this live stream break for more This Is the Police. I am enjoying this game. I really want to see where it's going. I don't know. Honestly, it's gonna have to end soon. This is a lot of the same over and over again, and I don't mind it, but I'm trying to keep people showing up for it. It's good. It's a very good game. I would love playing the hell out of this on my own, but it's a lot to ask an audience to come along with, you know, mostly the same mechanics over and over again. I mean, it's good. It sets me up for some jokes. I just, you know, kicked the horse to death and then kept kicking on the whole Punky Brewster thing. It's okay. I think I'm getting my STDJS hands back, so we've always got something to work with. In 7 minutes, we'll be back with more This Is the Police. In the meantime, have yourself some Army Blues. Just don't have them on the bus. on and welcome back to a twitch.tv/RonanPawn live stream on the twitch.tv/RonanPawns. Could you be quiet? Thank you. Yeah, so interesting position we find ourselves in this game at. Mainly the lower left corner is the position where we find ourselves in this game at. It feels, regardless of whether I'm wrong or not, it kind of feels like we're in a holding pattern, doesn't it? Like, I've watched a lot of Naruto. Hundreds of episodes of Naruto in the original Japanese, which is the only way to watch it, you know? Believe it! No, it's the Datebayo! And it means nothing. It's like, you know, it's basically, what I've been told is that Datebayo is the functional equivalent of a pirate shouting, Yar! So, yeah, that's definitely the better way to watch. But I've watched a lot of Naruto, and I know a filler arc when I see one, because most of that animation is filler. Well, a lot of it is filler arcs while they wait for the manga to, you know, come up with actual story to tell, where you've got to tell a story, but nothing's got to change, right? Like, nobody can die, and none of the characters can significantly be different at the end of the story, so you gotta, like, take the viewer on a trip and go around and around. It looks like a lot's going on, but at the end of it, everything has to be exactly the same because we don't know what's going to happen with the real story, and the characters have to be in more or less the same position. I feel like we're in a filler arc right now in this game, and I may be wrong. Maybe this is all set up and going somewhere and everything. I'm looking at the fact that I had recently, I think on the last live stream, a request that came in out of nowhere. Could you get 3 corpses for me? I think it was 2 men and 1 woman. And I want 3 corpses. And I have no idea where that came from. I'm the police commissioner, and I get a phone call asking for 3 corpses. The game doesn't, like, give me an option to try and track down where the call came from or anything. It's just somebody somewhere wants 3 corpses. And, you know, today I say no to it, and then we have the FBI showing up saying there's a mass murderer out who's drilling holes in people's mouths, and it makes me feel like maybe that's connected. Maybe the guy who was asking for 3 corpses is, you know, this sociopath who has this compulsion to defile corpses, and because I didn't give him the corpses, now there's a dead woman because he had to kill somebody because he couldn't get the corpses because I wouldn't give them to... I don't know where the hell this is going, but it just, everything seems very random, and we lost that... I've lost that feeling of momentum toward, you know, we started out the game and it was very much about, like, putting me, the player, into the awkward position of running a police force where there's corruption and there's a criminal element who you gotta kind of shake hands with and play along with to a certain extent, or it's going to be even worse for the public on the streets, and having the experience of, it's a big, dirty world out there, and you gotta make hard choices, and you know, also, you want to take care of yourself and your retirement package and stuff like that, and that's the point of the game, so, like, it's very good. Very good. And then the gang war that erupted, you know, between the old mafia and the new mafia, and which side are you going to be on here, and all of that. And then there was a lot of waiting for the gang war to go somewhere. But the fact that was kind of hanging over your head, that, you know, there is an end to this gang war, 2 weeks, and then, you know, one of them has to win, and all the work you're doing is building toward that, and we did that, and we completed that arc. And now we've got the new gang, and it's just the new mafias there. And I'm trying to keep them happy and City Hall happy. I'm just doing what I've been doing. And I feel like I'm in limbo right now in the game. And they're introducing more story and more plot, but it's character. It just feels like it's a long second act that isn't really going anywhere. And maybe it's there to set a bunch of stuff up. But regardless, this is definitely a lull in the game for me. Pawn the Crackling is back, and it's worse, says a guy called Pie. Pawn, for fuck's sake, says a guy called Pie. What? Like, why would you yell at me about that? I'll restart Reaper again. Like, what control do I have over it? We're not using a significant portion of CPU or GPU, and it seems to be software-based. Let's restart the software for the second time. Well, you yell at me about the things I have no control over. Except for that I could be restarting it, and then so that you wouldn't have to hear the crackling. Yelling at me because of the Welcome back. Did that help? Why would my digital audio workstation be the source of crackle on my audio? Yeah, for pies sakes, says Bearsuit Lane. Thanks, Pie. I meant Pawn. Thanks to me too. Did it get better? Because that's a real, like, what the hell am I even gonna do about that if that's really the problem? If it's the software. There's no cables to jiggle. I can't replace a phantom power unit. Seems good, boss. Great. Great. A new issue. Go on, use the maintenance mallet. The mallet's out for repair. We'll have to use the maintenance pistol driver. Back to the game. It is feeling like a lull, though, isn't it? A story lull. They're introducing a new story. And, you know, very good voice work. They're hiring voice actors to produce these sequences, so you gotta figure they're going somewhere. It's not just filler. But at the same time, regardless of what I can logically deduce, it feels that way. So it feels like this is a dip. Can this problem be solved with boosters and duct tape, says Bearsuit Lane? I'll tell you, if anywhere that this problem can be solved, watch this. When I put up the start menu, over here, I'm using ASIO for all. So that's probably the source of our issues right there, because this is it's a software sort of audio driver that captures the audio, and I can probably add more samples to it, but the fact that it's never been a problem until today, and now suddenly it's a problem, just lovely. This is how life as a streamer is. Tier 5 Pawn, I also tend to have a lot of analog issues on my digital PC. Crackling audio, off-key music, vertical tearing. Sometimes I wonder if my PC runs on used videotapes. Sometimes music just shifts up and down randomly when played back in VLC. You know? And I have fought, like, real problems that have solutions, like ground loops and stuff like that. Because I'm using USB external sound card kind of thing. You get ground loops on the electrics and stuff. So there's like all these issues that are things that I know about and can do something about. And then just new ones emerge out of the blue, no reason, doing the same thing we always do. Start the day, go to the map. How's City Hall feel about me today? I didn't do anything to make them happier, but I didn't do anything to piss them off yesterday either. So they didn't take any cops away. Okay. They gave me my job slot back, so I can hire an officer to replace the one that we just fired. Thank you. Oh, and you want me to do it right now. Well, Jonathan Hode, you look beautiful. Sexy in that outfit. Do you always wear a police officer's uniform? Let me look at my personnel. We're even for shifts. So now I'm looking at, like, our points. Who the lowest man and the highest man on the totem pole is. I'm going to put you on to shift B, I think. Yeah, Jonathan Hode onto shift B. That's today's shift, which means I won't have you in until... If I hire you for shift A, you'll be in tomorrow. I'm going to hire you for shift B. I think it'll be more helpful over there. There you go. So that's that. My other request for more money, they actually gave me the raise. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. I've done nothing to make them happy, and they're giving me things. And the Mafia gave me a share from selling some alcohol. Well, that's not enough to split with people. Take it all for me. And we've got the serial murderer case. But before we do that, let's go and try and pick up Dante Gambino, the leader of the drug ring that's operating out of a cemetery? A mortuary? Is that where we're at? So he either hangs out at the library, he's a fan of ancient Greek poetry and spends every minute reading, or we could look for him at, you know, the funeral home where he comes in during the shipments of drugs. I'm going to guess he spends more time at the library, based on, you know, their description. That being the case, and this just being one old dude, I know he's involved in drugs, but he doesn't, you know, I don't expect him to pull a gun on us. So he probably will. I'm going to send out Asanel because she's a commanding officer, along with, I don't know, Dowell. Really? You're going to drag Dowell on this thing? He's kind of a low-level dude. Alright, send Van Dahl. Not Dowell, but Van Dahl. We're not sending the SWAT on this. It's an old guy who runs a funeral home and a drug business. We can handle him, maybe. And immediately an assault comes in the suburbs. Well, in a residential area of the city, anyway. The crackling is more recent, but still kind of a legacy thing, says a guy called Pie. I use Fubar 2000 for music and MPCHC for movies and shows. That's what I'm using for music too, Fubar, for the live stream break and whatnot. For movies and shows, I watch almost everything through browsers now. It's Netflix, it's YouTube, it's Twitch, it's, you know... I do have VLC around. I think I've got MPCHC as well for when I need something to play Apple stuff. You know, MOVs and whatnot. I don't expect him to pull a gun, says Hologram. All officers killed, offender escaped. An obese man found himself stuck in an elevator, but when people attempted to help him out, he lashed out and began to strangle one of them. This is the third time I'm late to work, and it's all because of this effing elevator. I know how frustrating that can be. Hunter, because, you know, she's kind of geek chic. You go and, like, try and distract him with your sexuality, well, McCoy and the other Dowell, you know, take him down. And we do need to open an investigation into this serial murder. So, who's on who can lead the investigation? 21-year-old Allison Bell, City Hall intern, brutally murdered at her apartment. If I wait for the other thing to be closed, I'll have Luckett and the others back. I'm going to wait to open this investigation. Wait a second, what? You have to send 2 officers. You mean detectives. Right. I'm going to wait for the other one to close up, because we're going to pick the dude up right now, and it looks like we picked him up. He escaped after the big investigation and all the work, and you guys didn't grab him. We missed the suspect. Everybody gets fucked. Seriously, too. Luckett got really screwed over. He was there. The only thing I could have done was also send SWAT. You know, or send my most powerful officers, but it was a pretty strong team. Van Dahl and Osno, both, or is it Osno that I sent? Yeah, 330 and 375. The lead detective was there for 395 as well. And it wasn't 395 before this. He was like at 460 or 4 something like that. Jesus, all that work, and then old guy gets away from you at the library. I'm going to call not my fault. I wasn't going to send the SWAT out for old guy at library. Sorry. Pull your weight, bastards. And now we can't investigate the funeral home, and we can't investigate that gang, and we're just fucked. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your hard work. We have an attempted murder in the same building where we just sent, you know, people out to stop a fat guy in an elevator because he's angry because it's slow or something. An elderly concierge reports that he saw an angry girl through the window attacking someone's car with a baseball bat, yelling, "Get out, you painted wretch! Come on, I know you can hear me. I will kill you myself." Well, that sounds like the kind of thing where you only want to send 2 officers, which is all they're allowing me. Alright. Samadhi, bring some peace with Tsubaki to that situation. Wait for my officers to get back from the attempted and failed, like, arrest of an old dude at a library. Looks like we stopped the fat guy in the elevator. Hooray. Wait for them to get back. That'll be an indication that my detectives are back. Somebody's got a synthesizer. From the dentist, I've got a new clue on an investigation I haven't even started yet. Hello, Jack. I suspect you don't like the dentist nickname any more than I do, but let's just say that's who I am, and get down to business. Take a good look at the postcard I sent you. It points to a place where I hid something. Follow the clues, keep on the trail. Let's just say there's a reason I'm giving you a chance to catch me, but don't dare share this clue with the feds, or the trail will go cold, I promise you. And hurry! If don't figure out the right place in next 24 hours do, I'll destroy all the evidence and walk away. Really? Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep the clue for myself then, because my guys are so strong. Holy crap. Chief, you've gotten yourself into a dangerous game and you can't win without evidence on the dentist. You hold in your hand a key to what happened to the victims. Look closely at the image on the card. It will help you figure out where the evidence is hidden. Send your detectives, but don't go around blindly guessing. I doubt you have the resources to go to all the possible places in time. Alright, well, this is my first rodeo, so please bother me with this nonsense. Look at the, thing. Investigations? Serial murder? Here's my evidence. Okay. see up some skirts from here. So we've got... Yeah, can I look closer? I can look closer. There, that's better. We've got the shadows of... There's a war amongst the angels in the heavens is kind of what it looks like going on there, and people, and there's okay, so that, and then just reaching out and touching, and what the hell is even that? Is that a person's leg kicking you in the shoulder, or is that, where's his head? There's an arm coming out of a, taking the whole image form, sure. So there's a flying cabin surrounded by angels, trumpeters. Looks like there's a Buddha back there. It's rather fat, is what I would say. Yes, War of Angels. What I'm seeing is just a bunch of War of Angels, and there's a cabin. Maybe even an outhouse, you know? Because, yeah, actually an outhouse, they do tend to have that, that tiny window at the top where people won't be able to see down, but it lets the poop vapors escape. So... poop vapors is the clue, right? Watch out, he's got a synthesizer, says a guy called Mason. Even if your house was built in 2009, there still could be an issue with the power being provided to the house by the Electric Power Authority, says Mason. Yeah, not here, we're fine, but yeah, it's a guy called Pi, I suppose. Unlikely considering I'm only having very mild, non-harmful issues and only with my PC. Well then, power supply, right? Maybe the power supply then. Or the motherboard. Blessed if... Flip it. Wait, there's another side to it? Hello, Jack. I suspect you don't like the dentist nickname. Okay, so this is where I got the information from. Picture blank by blank. So he doesn't want me to know who made the picture. Place stamp here. There's nothing particularly in here. Although maybe it's a clue that he forgot to put in the word you. Hurry! If don't figure out the right place in the next 24 hours. If don't figure out. Okay. Flip it over again. All I've got is War of Angels around a porta potty. I mean, it's not a porta potty. It's a kind of one of those outhouses that you see at campgrounds, is what I would say. You know? So what are the places where I can possibly send someone? And also... can I open the case? Because I haven't opened the case yet. Is that going to be a problem for us? What are the different places? Serial murder at the Slice Pizza. The dentist may have hidden evidence here about the murder of Allison Bell. The Slice Pizza. I'm going to say no to that. No relation. Yeah, shut up, the rest of the problems of the city. I'm busy. Holy House Pizza. Why do you think that it's at a pizza place? Am I missing something from that image? Did someone see, like, a large sausage? I mean, I saw that. But I mean, like, a sausage pizza? The dentist may have hidden evidence. The Holy House Pizza. I'm not... No. What about here? Papa Carl's Pizza. What? Someone... Am I missing the pizza reference here? Papa Carl's. It's there. I think somebody on my team just wants pizza for lunch. Double Olive. Double Olive actually sounds right. Now that I've seen the places okay, let's have a look again. Serial murder at the Slice Pizza. Right, and that's what the building looks like. It's next to the Live Good. And then this is the actual case that I haven't opened yet. Let's open it up. You guys get off to that. Holy House Pizza. Well, if it's going to be Holy House... Oh, wait! My detectives! I need 2 of them to go. And I just sent them off to that one just to clear it up. I thought I was going to be sending police. I wasn't looking at that. I was trying to... I mean, Holy House, the name of it anyway. You know? Goes with what's... Investigations. What do we got here? Drug possession, detectives... anyone who's on today, get off of the drug possession case, because I need you. I need you to go investigate the other thing. How much time have I got? 30 seconds for whatever that is. There's arson at the Freeburg Birth Control Union. That's another detective case. I don't have time for it. We're going to the Holy House Pizza. With Beasley and Clortho. Go. Great. What do you want? The Sophocles Theater of Drama. Mr. Boyd, my attempts to raise the ratings of Justice for All failed and I was let go. But I'm getting ready to launch a new TV project, this time about the harsh everyday life of ordinary police officers. For the pilot episode, I need 2 cops who we can ride around for several hours. We'll go around the city in the police car and record various real-life stories. Your officers will be awarded $300, and you'll get a more impressive bonus. This time, we do have a real budget. Okay. Okay. Dowell and Van Dahl. They work together very well. Sure. Nobody become an actor, please. There's also arson at the Freeburg Birth Control Union. This is an investigation. I need to be able to send a detective, which means I'm waiting on Beasley and Cortho to get back. 3 people died in a blaze at the Women's Center. Okay, it's probably the Christians, because they love God so much. Jack, Officer Dowell somehow learned about the postcard from the dentist, and he's up in arms that you've been suppressing evidence. He demanded that I take action immediately or he's taking this directly to the prosecutor's office. I convinced him to sit on it for a couple more days, but we have to do something fast. Well, I've only got 24 hours to find the evidence anyway. And it's Officer Dowell, who I just sent off to maybe be a film star? Okay, cool. Let her go then. How do we do with the attempted murder? We caught him. I don't even remember what that was about. Something in the residential area. Okay. I can do nothing about this. This is all detective cases right now.
911 in progress.
Serial murder. Frames found. Alright. So we've started an investigation. God, this is getting so confusing. And one of our detectives was killed. Fell into a violent trap set by the dentist and was declared dead on the scene. Thanks, FBI. It's supposed to be their scene. We're just sending a couple of detectives over. Cool. Mr. Boyd, after the needless death of Detective Sandstrom, the guys had a quick word and we decided we can't keep going on assignments like this without SWAT support. Fine, Luckett. Fine. God, I love this game. I just love it. So, this is my evidence now. And, well, Holy House Pizza, I would assume, is going to be a thing for us, right? Do you think the dentist works at the Holy House Pizza? Maybe that's his beef against people, They're eating pizza left and right, it's tearing their teeth up, every day he has to clean it out of their teeth. What is this? Frickin' mozzarella and tomato sauce? Why don't you brush before you come to the dentist? You think that's what he's on about? Okay. Well, we're about to find out. I discovered evidence hidden by the dentist at the Holy House Pizza. It's an orange bit of cloth, which I believe, I would presume then, goes to, open the investigation, goes to this jacket. So these 2 things are connected. What else would I do with this? It's just a page. It's just a page is all it is. We found the evidence that the guy said go looking for it, and one of my detectives was killed, so happy f***ing day. Fraud at Fortune Bank. Can I just handle some of the regular police things now? Praise pizza. Praise pizza. I don't have any pizzas, says a guy called Pie, but I can go loot my dad's house for pizza, so it's fine. Good. I'm happy for you. Are you the dentist? Every time a nearby grocery store has discounted pizzas, he goes out and buys a whole bunch. Your father? Okay. What are we doing here? Is this a show I'm putting on? No. We're on day 66. That's why things are so bad. Fraud at Fortune Bank. A bank employee reports that a suspicious man came into the bank. He's obviously trying to cash a forged check. The cashier also says that the man is hiding something under his jacket. Probably a pizza. Probably a pizza. Tsubaki. Hours. Asano. Go handle that. Theft at the market. Michael Gibson was only away from his vegetable shop for 2 minutes and someone managed to steal a big cart filled with watermelons. I brought that hauler a month ago. Bright orange, easy to spot. The thing weighs almost 500 pounds, so they can't have gotten far. Samadhi, Roy, handle that on your own. What's Derek Allen got to say at the Sophocles Theater of Drama? Thank you for the wonderful help. I think it'll make a great TV series. In fact, we ran out of true stories and had to improvise a little. And I think someone blurted out something not very nice about the police, and about you personally. But don't take it to heart. Dowell. Welcome back, honey. After you leaked the information to me. Hey, there's 10 grand in my pocket for doing that. I'm gonna have to deal with Dowell today. Alright. So... what the hell is going on? I know that there's... but what about this? The serial murder. Like... do I no longer have detectives on the case? Is that what's happened now? I've got all the frickin' evidence, but I don't have detectives anymore because they decided that they're not going to do it without SWAT support anymore? We've got SWAT. Let's go! I don't understand what's going on in the game anymore, and I'm worried that it might be, you know, bugs and things. Luckett. It's a really important... but no, it's not. Luckett, you... and Clortho. They just keep dying when I send them out alone. I need... Clortho and Beasley, go do that for a second. Am I missing something here? Like, why can't I do anything on the serial murder case? We found the evidence. I don't know. You know, we lost one of the gangs, and everything is just going to shit with my detective, cases. And City Hall Police Station. City Hall Police Station. I don't know. It's trespassing at the farm. Bill Buckler said that no less than 20 cultists have taken up residence on his farm. They claim that the house and the surrounding acreage belong to them. The Lord has given unto us this land for our suffering, according to Buckler's unwanted guests. Some of the cultists are armed. Well, I don't have enough staff to send to that right now. Sorry. Deal with the cults yourself.
We've got a situation here.
We got a situation at Fortune Bank. I'm getting, like, haggard is what I am. The game is haggering me. Shoot them all on. I'd love to at this point. The suspect is sitting in a chair, obviously very nervous. He grows very agitated when he sees the police and starts banging his foot on the floor. Let's just watch him, because he's clearly got something going on if he's just sitting there. The man suddenly jumps up and grabs the woman standing next to him, putting a huge knife to her throat. He knows that the police are there for him. Well, who else would we be here for? The guy who's not robbing the bank or whatever, trying to bounce? He's just trying to bounce a check. Now you're going in prison for 15 years at least, and that's if she doesn't get hurt. I know it's not your fault. Let's just go down to the station and talk about this. Or, let go of the woman and get out of here. We're not here for you. Or, my friend, you're going to find yourself in a body bag. You better release that hostage quick. Yeah, I'm feeling salty today. Shoot first, ask questions never. That's how I run my police department. And the theft at the market over the watermelons. Jesus, are you a priest? Is it a priest who was selling watermelons? Look at that collar. Across the market, there's an elderly couple rolling a big blue cart filled with fruit that look like watermelons. Let's interrogate the elderly couple. Around the farmer's market, there are 3 carts. One of them is orange, filled with watermelons. 3 women are carrying something over to a small truck. Okay. We can either watch until someone goes to the orange cart, or ask them if they've seen any watermelon stealing scumbags. Let's just ask them.
9/11.
And they let us know. Cool. I mean, honestly, it's watermelon theft, so if asking them would have turned into nothing, but it would have scared them from stealing the watermelons, hey, we got them back, you know. Watermelons. The hell do I give a crap? Investigation has started into the arson. Great. I don't know that I care anymore. I'm in 17 directions right now. Michael Ayers, a nurse. This is the arson at the women's clinic. Right. I was about to go home when the building suddenly lost power and it got really quiet. Then I heard a muffled noise like a little clap from just down the street. The building had about 10 employees. I didn't notice the smoke at first, and when I saw the fire I began to yell, but it was too late. Some people just didn't make it out. So from down the street, you heard a muffled noise like a little clap. She was in the building at the time, I'm presuming. She's a nurse, she's about to go home, the building loses power, I hear a little muffled noise like a little clap, and then, okay. Jesus, Sylvia James, could you make your text any smaller? At the time of the tragedy, I should have already been home. I was just leaving, and I ran into Ronald Sherman on the street. He's the ex-husband of one of our patients, who decided not to have her child after she consulted with the Freeburg Birth Control Union. After that, Mr. Sherman openly quarreled with his wife. I understand he beat her, and later they divorced. Since then, he's come to our office several times. And on the evening of the fire, he was standing across the road, wearing a large backpack. He made a point of walking past me, and he muttered something in the spirit of "burn in hell, bitch." I thought how close I already was to hell, if people could wear such ugly red sweaters. Thank you. Thank you for the humor. I needed it. Ronan Pawn Ice Cream, can you remove the chat thing so I can read 1, the crime reports, and 2, Nazi Pie talking shit to the hologram? Pie... Look, there's nothing here. Mr. Galaviz, the fire inspector, says that the fire was started with a small plastic canister filled with accelerant, which was thrown from the street through an open window. Alright. Yeah, we can drop chat for this. Okay, so it started with a small canister filled with accelerant thrown from the street through an open window. So Mrs. Ayers heard the sound of like a little clap down the street, so he threw something out the window. When the fire began, the building was already without power, which interfered with the usual evacuation plan. Damage to the external cables show that they were not cut, but simply pulled from the wall by force. Right, so we're looking for a Mr. Sherman in an ugly red sweater who was wearing a green backpack? Who was wearing a backpack anyway, right? He's consulted with the standing across the road, a large backpack, and burning in hell, bitch. Okay, get me some pictures. Thank you. And how are we on getting our police officers back before the trespassing call goes by? 0? Yeah. Alright, well, we got 4 anyway. They're just cultists. They'll probably call for backup, and by the time they want backup, I will have backup to send. Seems to be the end of the day. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with the dentist detective case, because my detectives got pissed off at me, and now I've got all this information about the serial murder, but I don't have any detectives accurate, and it's a weird new, you know, interface for this kind of thing, which is cool, but I feel lost. I'm desperately lost. Tier 10, they giving you ideas on how to deal with the drug houses? Small canister with accelerator? Yeah, attached to a drone. Floated, and then it flies over the house, and then they spin the camera and pushes the accelerant off. Alright, how do we do? We caught them all? You didn't even ask for backup? Yay! They had weapons. How'd you do that? Oh, we got 3 new frames before the end of the day, too. On this arson. So, fella in an ugly red sweater. What's that a picture of? I mean, technically, small plastic canister filled with accelerant. I would have just said a gas can if it was a gas can. I think this is a misnomer because, yeah. I don't know, but I think that's a misnomer. But this actually happened, definitely. So he... Wait a second, are you... Yeah, he's just pulling them out in that picture. It's not a picture of him cutting them, so I'm sure we'll get a picture of him cutting them later. So that probably actually happened. And then, dude in a big... Right. But the lights are still on at that point. Aha. So the picture order is going to be, here's the building, here's the jackass with the backpack in front of the building, and then he goes around back, he pulls the wires, and then something something, and everyone dies in a fire. Got it. Got it. Very clear. Very clear. I don't feel at all confused about what the hell's going on and what my role is here as the guy who's in charge, or that I'm doing horribly even though I have no control over it. I don't feel It's the end of the day. My officers are back. Okay. Carrying on, I suppose. We need to do some paperwork for Sandstrom. Yes, declare her dead. Because I need to hire another detective to replace her. My God. My God. Everybody's just... So many. Look at that now. 5 people on Shift A. Shift B, down to 3. I can change that, though.
So I went downstairs figuring I'd find some mercenary or an escaped serial killer or some other lowlife I'd put away, right? But when I hit the lights, I saw a young kid. Couldn't have been 20. Skinny, dirty. Didn't even have a real weapon, just a rusty shiv. He just stood there, didn't say anything. My whole career, I've been staring down the most dangerous people in the country, and the only one to get into my house and scare my family to death was just some kid about to crap his pants. And I pointed my gun at him, and he just stood there with his mouth open.
Bad luck for him.
He was pretty lucky to still be alive. And you know what? It was you that saved him.
I think you have me confused with somebody else, Ethan.
No. Listen. All these years, me and Marla joked about how dangerous my job is. We figured that sooner or later someone would sneak into our house and cut us to pieces, yeah? Pretty dark jokes, but innocent enough. And Marla asks me not to jump into gunfights when she kisses me on the cheek before I leave for work. It's like we figured that if we joke about stuff like that, then it'll never actually happen. But, while I trained my gun at the kid's nose, I finally realized someone really can get into our house. Someone really can cut us to pieces. Now that it finally happened, I can't make any more jokes like that. Marla won't laugh anymore. She'll burst into tears and stay in bed all day crying, hating me more and more every second. So I figured the only way out of the situation was to show her that if someone really does dare to break into our house, he's guaranteed to get a bullet in the face. He'll die right there on the living room carpet.
God, Ethan, didn't know you were so bloodthirsty.
I'm telling you, Jack, I was serious about shooting this kid right there where he stood. I was about to pull the trigger. But then I remembered you. Remembered 1,000 years ago, we went to the lake and had some beers after an ethics lecture at the academy. I was all angry with that professor, Laszlo, yeah. Remember what he always told us? Being a good policeman is very simple. You just need to keep doing the right thing. I hated those pretentious speeches. I cussed Laszlo up and down and said, if you always do what's right, you've turned yourself into a robot. And you just sat there, drunk eyes staring into the distance. And you were all calm and said, no, Ethan, it's the other way around. To do the right thing takes everything you got as a human.
I said that. Oh, what an idiot I was.
Come on, Jack, it's not funny. When things get bad, it's those moments you gotta be hopeful and stay human. And I did just like you said. I stayed human. And then I slapped the cuffs on the kid in one quick move, just like Bobby Flash.
Bobby Flash?
What? You don't remember Evening Freeburg, the old news column? Stories about the cop hero Bobby Flash? I heard they even published a book a few years ago.
Oh, that Bobby Flash.
Yeah, that Bobby Flash. How can you not remember Bobby Flash? We all argued at junior high about which one of us would be Bobby Flash when he grows up. Oh, I'm no Bobby Flash. A hero cop would never think about shooting a terrified teenager. But wait a minute.
God, I need
if
a
I'm
beer
not
and a
Bobby
cigarette.
Flash, then maybe you are.
Yeah, maybe so.
Is this the end of our midlife crisis? Is that what we're doing here? Listen, that's like, oh shoot, it's a cat, says a guy called by. Yes, and something to keep you all from getting bored. Listen, like, that conversation is all too relevant to me. All too relevant. I never lived in a world where, you know, it was really, serious that, you know, you'd ever have to consider killing a man. Never really lived in that reality because of where I live, what life is like. And then I moved into Detroit. And, you know, I was put in a situation where I could have tried to kill a man or not. And I had to make that decision, like, right in that moment of, you know, he's standing over there with a blunt instrument, and I'm standing here with a knife, and he's in my house, and I have a history of throwing knives. Probably not gonna help me much here. It's gonna basically be 50-50 chance whether or not the knife, if I throw it, sticks in him, as opposed to bouncing off from hitting the wrong way. But I'm in that position where, you know, he's broken my windows out, he's climbed in through one of them, and, you know, all I've got is a knife. All he's got is a blunt instrument. I've got, you know, projectile. He's got object he's got to get to me with. And had to make that, like, choice right there, you know? And I had no idea what choice I was going to make until I really had to decide. Do I flip the knife up to the, you know, and then, or not? And he completely and totally, like, put my back against the wall, metaphorically, on an intellectual level. Like, he put my back completely against the wall. I had two options, and one was to, you know, lob a knife at him, or the other was to let the woman that I was trying to protect try and make a break for it. And that last option was, like, you know, the last option. And I found out that, right there, I found out I didn't have the will to kill a man. Even when he had, like, put himself in a position where I could totally legally kill him, number one, and two, I have every, you know, like, morally, ethically, this man is a fucking maniac. He was beating this woman before she found her way into my house, and then, you know, she came to me, and he breaks out my windows and comes through, like, there's almost a moral and ethical obligation to stop this animal so that he doesn't do something like this again to someone else. And, yeah, I've now been in that situation where it's like you have to decide whether or not to kill a person. I found out that night that I didn't have it in me to try to kill a person. Well, and what do you mean, legally kill him? That's not a thing, is it? Is it? Even in America, says a guy called Pie? Yeah, you can legally kill a person in America. In Texas, you can very easily legally kill a person. Different laws for different states, but, you know, you would be, regardless of whether anyone's going to bring charges against you or not, you'll be taken into the police department, you'll be fingerprinted, you'll be, you know, asked questions, that kind of thing, but at the end of the day, prosecutor may not bring any charges against you if you were defending your own life from a valid threat. And that's the situation that I would have been in. So, yeah, I absolutely could have legally killed him, lawfully ended his life. But, like, I found out right there that I just didn't have it in me to chuck the knife. Like, I'm looking at a maniac, you know, and I still can't do it. Which is why when it turned out that he was still free the next day after they arrested him and then apparently accidentally released him thinking he was a drunk take-hold, why I abandoned my house, went out to the suburbs, stayed with my mom for a couple of nights so that I could buy a shotgun and train myself to use it, and train my mind, most importantly, to be ready to kill a person. And I was ready to kill him if he gave me the opportunity. You know, if I was in another position where legally I would not be charged, you know, if he comes onto my property, if he comes into my home, if there's no one else around to say the story went a certain way, you know? Like, I live in a completely different world now, because with what I've lived through from that circumstance, I am now aware of a whole lot of things that I never considered before. Like, if you send someone to prison, when they get out, maybe they look you up. If you know, in this city where the police didn't actually do their jobs, and then didn't actually do their jobs, and didn't actually do, where they failed over and over and over again to protect me, and then arrested him, but then accidentally released him, and so he was on the street 14 hours after he'd threatened my life in my home. My floors are still covered in glass, and he's on the fucking street across the street, free man. I now live in a world where no one's gonna protect me but me. And if this guy keeps on living, the place that I was in, if this guy keeps on breathing, given what has occurred over the course of the past few nights, there is a constant threat upon me and my home. Like a real threat. And to say those words is one thing, that you may be able to be like, oh, okay, a real threat. But not a hypothetical threat, not an intellectual threat. The kind of threat where every time you walk out your front door, you open the door and you check your corners before you walk out. Where you're lying in bed at home and you hear probably just, you know, the wind blowing some branches across the side of the house, and you have to wonder, is it him? You know, the kind of threat where you have a boot knife next to your bed and a shotgun loaded and one rack away from opening fire in your house. That kind of threat, like a real, like it's real for you because it's a real threat. Guy called Dramatian cheering, it's called Stand Your Ground. If you feel that your life is on the line, you can use deadly force, says Dramatian, yeah. Police officers get off with that one a lot. In Texas, you've got, and I think Florida now, the King's Castle law or something like that. Your home is your castle, and in Texas, it may be legal for you to kill a person just for, like, being on your property. It's easier, anyway, in those places. You have more legal defense if somebody tries to prosecute you in those places. But yeah, so the world that I live in now, the world as I perceive it anyway, is substantially changed. And what the story that character in this game just told about, you know, a kid being in your house and standing there and, you know, he looks terrified. I honestly don't know what I would do in that situation today, because now I've, like, intentionally trained myself to kill. I've intentionally trained my mind to kill. Like, because of this guy who the police wouldn't address the problem with, I was in a place where what I was doing in my mind was running through the scenario so that if he gave me a chance to kill him where I wouldn't be arrested and go to prison for it, I'd kill him. I wouldn't hesitate, I'd kill him. Get it done. Do it now. Do it now. Because if he's in my house and his chest is facing me and I shoot him to death, one, he's not going to be telling any stories to the police, so I can say whatever happened, happened. Two, the bullets are going to go, you know, the impact is going to be through the chest, which means that he was coming at me. He was facing me. If he turns around, if he sees my shotgun, if he hears me racket and starts moving out of the house, and then I come out and shoot him, well, now he was fleeing me, and I've killed him. So now, probably I am going to be prosecuted, and probably I am going to spend time in jail and or prison for having killed this person. But the reality that I live in is that if I don't kill this person, he's going to kill me. Or he could. I don't know. He's a psychotic fucking maniac. And in this city, I couldn't rely on the police to just take him off the streets and lock him up. So what's my option? You know, buy myself handcuffs and put in my own fucking police department in the basement and lock him down there? No. He needs to die. If I'm gonna live here in the house that I own, having done nothing wrong, and I'm gonna have this, you know, lunatic fucking woman beating, you know, break into your home and threaten your life and destroy all your property thing, animal living outside my house, no. He needs to die. That's my solution. And knowing that, I trained myself to be ready to pull the trigger without hesitation if he gave me the slightest chance. And an NRA instructor, National Rifle Association guy, is who I bought my shotgun from. Just so happened. Just happened to turn out that way. Bought it from a regular old, you know, sporting goods store, because, you know, that's America for you. Just went out and bought it at a regular old sporting goods store, you know, one signature on a piece of paper, and here's your shotgun. just happened to turn out the guy selling me the gun was a certified NRA instructor who quietly and privately informed me of when it's okay to kill him, you know. And the biggest thing was, don't let him turn his back to you. And that meant that what I was training myself to do was surprise him with the gun and shoot. Don't hesitate, don't give him an option, don't threaten him with the gun. If he sees you have a gun, well, now maybe he goes and gets his own gun and comes back someday. No, if he sees the shotgun, he dies. So now I'm in a position where if somebody, you know, because I live on these streets in Detroit, if somebody comes into my house, if somebody tries to push in a window, which has happened before when I first bought the house, before the local homeless population realized that I'd moved in, somebody did push in the window of a basement. Pushed in one of my basement windows and started to come in, and I woke up at like 5-something in the morning, and as soon as I put a foot down on the ground, I heard him scuffling out, and then I discovered the window in the state it is. But like, I now live in a place where if somebody comes into my house, if they come in through the window that's next to my bed, I don't have the shotgun next to my bed. I've got a giant boot knife next to my bed, and I'm gonna take the boot knife and go right here. That's all I'm gonna do. Just one move. Like, that's where my mind is now. Don't think about it, don't question it, don't give second chances, don't anything. Because I can't rely on, you know, justice, police, law and order. It doesn't exist on these streets. So, if somebody's coming through a window and I'm within reach, kill them, kill them, kill them. That's all I've got. Because if I don't, I don't know where it's gonna go from there. You know, maybe they'll be arrested, maybe they won't. Maybe they'll be arrested and then released. Maybe they'll hold something against me and come back at me. I don't have the option to allow for those possibilities where I live. So if you come through my window and you're just coming in to get warm, you know, homeless guy off the street, looks at the house, maybe he's high and he doesn't realize it's, you know, clearly someone lives here. Whatever. If someone who doesn't really bear me ill will, or they're just coming in to rob the place, comes into my home, and I have the chance to kill you, you're dead, is kind of where I am right now. Or at least it's where you know, that's the thing, is I still feel the hesitation in my heart. As much as I've trained my mind to just stab, to just shoot. It's still in there, but that's my starting point now, because of where I live. And you don't go back from that. Jermaine Cheers 10, the audio is crackling again. Audio's hacked up again. Jesus, hell. We'll kill... How's that? Getting real fast on that draw. Roll the start button. Alt F4, roll the start button, pop Reaper back open. Did that get any better? Tier 5. I looked it up. You're allowed to use non-lethal force if you can prove you were emotionally compromised at the time of the incident. Excessive force may also be tolerated, but murder is still murder, so we're more sensible in this regard than I thought, says a guy called Pi. Oh, is that your local, law and whatnot? Same law applies in England. If someone comes at you with a lethal weapon and you manage to kill them, you're allowed to do that. Said Hologram 1. Sweet gentle Jesus. Sounds like he's broadcasting from within a Martian tornado storm or something. Go on, read the chat. Just keeps getting worse somehow. Note to self, to not break into Pawn's house to sneak hug him. Stop talking, fix your shit, please. I'm just gonna kick Pi. Kick guy called Pi. Called Pi. It's a good story though, much better. My ears thank you. You're a lethal weapon, Riggs. Yeah. It's not a good story. It's like where I am right now, and, you know, I didn't live in that world until recent. And now that's where I live. And, I totally used to be a guy on the side of like, let's get all the guns off of the streets. And even today, I'm still like, let's get all the guns off. It's like, I'm not a fan of that, but I see that as a viable solution. And it's the kind of thing that I'd say, yeah, if the rest of the country will get behind it, because, you know, if I were the last man to make the decision, I'd say, yeah, let's do it. Not because I really want that, you know, there's a lot more that guns are useful, that are used for, that is, you know, part of culture and recreation and things that aren't my thing, but I recognize that it's a huge thing for, you know, fathers and their sons in other places, and it's bonding and hunting and, you know, there's reasons for guns to exist. I would even today, still, if I were the last man who had to pull the lever, I'd say, yeah, take all the guns off the street. But, you know, I'm now a person who's gonna say, I would still support that legislation, but let me tell you a fucking story about why I have a shotgun. I'll give you my shotgun if everybody else gives their shotguns in, but let me tell you a story about why we can't really have that legislation right now. Because in some places, shore to shore of this country, there's no such thing as justice. And you can't call 911 and expect that someone who has been trained to handle something is going to show up and actually handle it. Meanwhile, 2 dead in Freeburg. Really? It's about being capable of murder or not, says a guy called Pie. That's why it's a good story. This is Freeburg we're talking about here, says a guy called Pie. Oh, okay. What do you got? City Hall doesn't hate me. Mafia is just alright with me. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Sure. Background sound loop overpowering your voice, says Dramatian. What the hell? I'll tell you what, people. Like, I'm sitting here real quiet because, between this game, being at kind of a low point. I mean, that story was great, in the game, and, brought up some stuff, that I could talk about. But then the technology, you know, and cuts out my fucking microphone, and you guys, I don't know how much of it you heard, or how much of it you could stand listening to. Well, I've got audio issues that didn't fucking exist until, you know, today, and having changed absolutely goddamn motherfucking nothing. So, we having done a 2-hour live stream, and the game being kind of in a low state right now anyway, and the audio treating me like shit. And, you know, pie. So, you know, I think maybe we've come to the end of this live stream. I don't know what the hell we're doing here anyway, is how I feel. Right? What the hell are we even doing here? What are we doing? What's the point? What? Best part of the stream for me is getting to talk about, you know, having learned to be a person willing to kill you. The hell are we doing here? People. You know? Spend 2 hours with me, this is what you get. I'm still having a good time falling to the guy Cold Pie. I'm not. I could change that in about 3 seconds, but, you know, shortest stream in a long time, says Allegram1. Yeah. Well, between the tech issues and everything else, and the game kind of just dragging ass, I don't know. I think maybe we just call this one. You know? You know? Mason cheering 1,000. Daylight saving time ends Sunday morning at 2 a.m. Thank you for a $10 friggin' cheer. Jesus God. That's $1 for everyone watching the live stream across 2 platforms and 3 channels right now, Dramatian. Thank you so much. Loafy Loop, it's what makes this stream different, says Loafy Loop. Yeah. Yeah, it's what, you know. I'm happy with the kind of live streams that we're doing right now. I am. But yeah, when the game is I just wonder, should we be playing This Is the Police anymore? I mean, I'd like to finish it out, but I have no indication that we're getting anywhere near the end of it. The gameplay is slow. The story stuff is cool. It's weird for me, you know, in my thank you for the beer money, Dramatian. In my position, it's weird because, you know, the gameplay part of it is slow, and I'm bringing it to a live stream, and then the parts where it's like, ooh, this is interesting, is when it's playing stories, so then I just sit here and let them talk. It's a weird one for me. a weird one for me. I really like it. I really like the game. And even though it's in a lull right now, I would totally, definitely recommend it. It may be going somewhere with everything that's going on right now that's going to be, and it may not, but regardless, it's a hell of a game. Very fun. Great mechanics, great audio work, great voiceovers. I love the art style, even though I can't really tell what the hell's going on with it half the time. I've been mostly ignoring the game anyway, says Bearsuit Lane. Yeah, see? Pong, you should give those unplayed games a try. I enjoy these streams, says Hologram 1. I like the game too, but it's... I don't know. Does This Is the Police see another live stream? Does it join us back here next Friday? I don't know. It's a good game. I just don't know if I've got anywhere left to go with it. I went far too long with XCOM 2, Kerbal Space Program, which will be back, so I'm still going too far with it. But, yeah. Do another Planet Coaster stream, another Darkest Dungeon one, then a couple of new games, as the guy called by me. New game for Sunday, Sister Mason. Ooh. I have no idea what we'd do Sunday if not, that we're already doing, if not Planet Coaster. Give it 3 weeks or something, says a guy called Pie. I'm fine with philosophy. Yeah. That's my favorite part of all of this. Really makes me feel like, if I could get the crap out of my throat and stop using so many, like filler words, we should just do this as a radio show. Should just do this as a talk radio show. Not have any games. I'll pull the green screen up, we'll reveal the sofa back there, and I'll sit on the sofa and interview members of the police, or members of the Detroit city staff. Sometimes police, sometimes firefighters, and just go, so what the fuck? Some city council members in here, interview them and say, so let me tell you a story about how I'm not safe in my home and no one else in the city is safe in their home, and how you have to just be ready to kill a man. If he comes into your home, just kill him. And how the police in the city will tell you basically the same thing. Like, their recommendation to you now is very realistic, and I thank them for it. I'm very happy that the police in Detroit are open enough to quietly say what needs to be said, which is, if you got a drug house across the street from you, the best thing you can do is an act of arson. Like, the police will recommend burn the place down. And the police know where the drug houses are, most of them. So when they see a, drug place go up in flames, there's not going to be an investigation. Regardless of the, report back from the fire department saying it was arson, there's gasoline splashed in the corner, they're going to go, was there? Did you find any traces of cocaine? Because we know that they were selling shit out of that house. So, yeah, the recommendation now is, from the police is, be armed. And, I sat with officers. I've gotten the chance because I've gone to court, over this thing. And, the guy who broke into my house, 14 years in prison minimum now. I've spoken to officers about it, and, when I told them that, I bought a shotgun and prepared myself to kill him, and was just looking for the opportunity, I was blunt with them, because I want them to know that that's, this is the position that we're in case they don't. They know that this is the position that the citizens are in, because after I get done telling my story, officer leans in and says, you wouldn't have been in holding long. Just letting you know that, given everything that's happened, you wouldn't have been in holding long. Basically, I had a free pass to kill the guy who broke into my house. And I probably could have killed him in the street. From what, from the feeling that I get. From having talked to different people in this city about it. And different officers and different people in official positions. I probably could have walked across the street and blasted him in the chest with the shotgun and gone home. And, if there was any way that they could make the story what it needed to be to make sure that I didn't, get prosecuted, I'm sure they would have. Because, at that point, what I didn't realize was that I had all of the bargaining chips. I've got evidence of the police having failed to do their job this time, and then having failed to do their job that time, and then they accidentally released him back onto the streets. I got all this stuff stacked up. And the police department of the city of Detroit doesn't want to have a case open that, journalists are going to be reporting on, local news is going to pick up, where the fella is defending himself by saying, but I called 911 12 times the first night, and then they came out and they cornered him in the house that he'd been beating the woman in, and then they decided to leave because it was too dangerous and left him in the house and kicked her out, even though she was bleeding and bruised and showing me the patches of hair that he'd ripped out of her head. They just left her in that situation. They don't want that story to come out. They don't want to talk about the fact that they, used the fire department ladder truck in order to pull him off of a roof after he ran, and then nobody did the paperwork, and shifts changed, and next morning they let him back on the street, as though he was a drunk tank hold. No charges run. Didn't check his warrants. They don't want that story to come out. So basically, would I have, had a real pistol, walked across the street, and shot him in the head in broad daylight, I would have had me to defend myself, my defense attorney to defend myself, and the entire 11th precinct of the Detroit Police Department to try and defend me as well. Because they don't want to talk about what they did and how they fucked up over and over and over again, and what position that leaves people in this city. Guy called Pie Cheers 5. Honestly, Detroit's really like one of those 80s movie shitholes that needs cleaning up by one man with a really big gun and nothing to lose. It actually came true, says a guy called Pie. There are two Detroits, just like there are two Americas and two worlds in general. There are two Detroits. You go downtown, it's a lovely place. You go to the casinos, go to the restaurants, walk the river walk, you can bike the DeQuinder Cut. There's lovely places in the city of Detroit. And then there's the other Detroit that they don't talk about on the news as often as they should. And when they do talk about it, they talk about it sort of matter-of-factly, and it all just turns into, the corner of. It's road names and head counts. 2 shot on this corner of police investigation now, and that's it. And it doesn't express what's really going on in the other Detroit. Between the sports stadiums and the houses of gambling. RoboCop actually took place in the future, says a guy called Pie. Really? It's gotta be the future now, right? How many years? Because we're pretty much there. This is going to become a really good book right now, says Luffy Loop. I'm sure it was a real thing back then too, but it's the realist now, says a guy called Pie. Is Detroit turning into Gotham? I don't know. I think Detroit is worse than Gotham. I don't know. I haven't seen any of the... I haven't seen that, the television show about the kids in pre-Batman Gotham. I don't know, but I know that, the world that I live in now is one where you can't expect the police to go after the drug houses because, if they really tried to crack down, if there were a real drug task force, then that means that the people on the drug task force would be targets. And they'd be fighting their own department, because every department, every precinct is going to have, all you need is one person. Just one cop who's willing to, pull some data from the database when they're called by a drug dealer. I 1000% believe... I've seen the dirty cops. The guys who decided to leave this animal in the house and kick the battered woman out in the middle of the night, these were guys just looking out for them. Making sure that they went home that night. They're not doing the job. And if they're willing to do what they did there, yeah, they're absolutely willing to, make a little money on the side and, get themselves some free product. And I absolutely believe that there's people inside the police department who, if the right fella calls them up and says, $500, can you look up who it was that called in, that that this is one of our houses, that they'll give them that information. So the people who live in this city can't even help the police by telling them, like, what's going on the streets, because if you do, someone in the police is probably going to let it get back to the people who are the danger. Like, I live in this world. I live in a world where I was thinking about it recently, and the mayor himself, having just given that, the State of the City address, he couldn't, like, announce that we're going to crack down on drugs, and I'm forming a new, task force, and the task force is going to be separate from the police department and all that kind of stuff, because, he'd be a target now. If I were in the position of the guys who are running the drug business in Murica, or in Detroit, I would, just have him assassinated. I would pay somebody to kill the mayor. And then that would send a huge message. That would resonate for a long time. Don't fuck with us. We will shoot you. We will kill you. We don't care who you are, mayor or not. That cheer just came in, and then I'm looking at my cheer record, or my chat record here, and not seeing anything that has a cheer associated with it. I heard it, and I didn't look over. What? I don't see a cheer in my chat. You said it was like a minute and a half behind, didn't you? Well, what did I miss? Thank you for the cheers. Cheer 10, RoboCop, 1987 was set in 1991. That's what I missed, Mason. It was right there. I was just overlooking it because I was seeing the numbers, the 1987, the 1991, and I missed the Cheer 10. Of course, if you look at the fashion and the technology, it's 1987 as hell, but still. Yeah, there's pawn system is slowly exploding, says Hologram One. Are we getting the crackling back? Yeah, I just can't deal with it. It's too damn frustrating. It's too damn frustrating. So I'm going to say, thank you for sticking around. I'm not sure if this is the police is done or not on the channel. I'd like to see where it's going, but at the same time, kind of slogging now. Hard to run a show around. My favorite part is when we start talking about this crap. Regardless, we will be back this Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern with something, playing another game. And I hope that you'll join me there. Thank you so much for your cheers. Thank you for the $10 friggin' cheer, Gervasian. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I want to end it on something. But that's the problem. Here's what I'll end it on. The problem is you can't end it on anything. I can't end the stories I'm telling about Detroit on anything, because that's exactly where Detroit is. It's in the middle. It's in the middle, and there's no clear ending, and there's no way out. You need the FBI or the DEA from a federal level to come and get involved and do something. You need the city's council to decide to start selling off portions of the city so that they can reduce the area that the police department that they have is trying to cover. It's a big mess, and as far as I can see, no meaningful activities are being undertaken to address it. So it's kind of, again, this game is a very good parallel for what's going on in the city of Detroit, because the game is kind of in a slog right now, and it's kind of in a middle space. It's in a very long Act 2, and I'm waiting for Act 3 to at least begin so that I can see the ending, and it's not coming. And at the same time, that's what Detroit is. We're in an Act 2 that just isn't ending. Juan, how about the new big KSP update? Well, I've heard about it, a guy called Pi, and we'll look at it, eventually. But it's just gonna be me complaining, right? We'll look at a couple of new features and go, oh, that's neat, that's neat, that's neat. So, let's talk about DLC that costs almost as much as the game itself. We will definitely have a look at it, but I don't want to look at it in the first, minutes that it's coming out. Leave that to the, people out there who are chasing views on YouTube and whatnot. I'm going to cover it right now so I can be at the leading edge. I got to be at the leading edge so I can get all the views. Good for you. You cover it when it's not developed and, give people impressions of what it is, what without considering all of the problems and the bugs and how it interferes with long-standing, pre-existing mods from the community. And you do that coverage, that sloppy, shitty, rushed-to print, I just want to get out there ahead of everybody else so that I can get a whole bunch of views. You do that coverage. I'm going to do this. I'm going to wait until it's had a chance to ruminate and develop, and then to patch some of the bugs out, and then I'll look at what we actually got, as opposed to what they're selling. That's what, because I've done the other one too many times. I am the Ronin Paul. I will see you this Sunday at 4 p.m. with something. Probably not Kerbal. Definitely not Kerbal. Maybe Planet Coaster. Maybe something entirely new. Love to do some more Darkest Dungeon. I was getting a lot of fun out of that. We can only see. We can only wait and see. Which we shall do. My Sunbox had like 6 videos about the new KSP in the same hour since Bears Who Lane. Yeah, that's gonna happen. Make sure that you trust their take on it. Go on out.